Hello everybody, this is Alan with HeadphoneReviewHQ.com, and today we're going to be reviewing the Fiio E11 headphone amplifier. So this is the front of the unit. As you can see, it says Fiio headphone amplifier E11. On the top right is your power indicator, and on your top left is the charging indicator. Over on the side, you'll see that you have two jacks, two 3.5mm jacks. You have the output and the input. The input comes from your multimedia player, and the output goes to your headphones. The dial, when you turn it on, you see that the power indicator turns on, and this is where you control the volume of the unit. And as you can see, the numbers on the dial indicate how loud it is, and it's kind of useful. I actually like the dial as opposed to any kind of digital thing. On the other side of the unit, you have the mini USB port. That's for charging. It will not play while you're charging the unit. That's kind of annoying. This button is to release the lid on the top of the unit, and this so you can get to the battery. In case the battery ever dies on the unit, it's a replaceable, rechargeable battery. And as you can see, the inside's actually laid out pretty nice. They did a good job with the unit. So again, that's what recharges when you plug it up to a USB. And you can plug the USB into a regular computer, any standard mini USB connector to USB on your computer, and you'll be able to charge the thing. I want to say it only takes like a little over an hour. I haven't really timed it, but it holds a charge pretty well. And I've gotten at least 4 to 6 hours of play out of a charge. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but I've never really run out of juice. So on this side, you've got your high and your low gain. Your low gain is predominantly used with most headphones. The only difference between high and low gain is the amount of control you'll have with the volume. If you turn it on high gain with a set of headphones that's fairly sensitive and you turn it up, you won't be able to go past 2 or 3, whereas if you switch low, you'll be fine. On the right hand side, you have EQ. You have 0, 1, and 2. 0 is no bass boost. 1 is literally just low end bass boost, and it does a good job of just staying on the lows. And 2 is more like a loud effect that you get with, similar to car stereos, where you get a lot of boost on the low end and it kind of bleeds into the mids. This is for headphones that really lack in the low. I find that 0 and 1 are the best settings, and they're very natural and neutral sounding, flat response. So again, here's the front of the unit. Just flipping it around. The back of the unit also has the name and the company information on it. And it's a very solid unit. It's built really well. It's slightly smaller than what your iPhone is. I mean, it's not a tiny unit. When you turn the volume on, it's got a nice click, solid feel to it. When you're turning the volume, it's got a nice feel to it. The motion's solid. And again, the ports on it, the jacks for the input and the output, just your standard 3.5mm, what comes with most headphones. And one thing that's nice is when you click the jacks in there, they secure really nicely. You can see this thing's a little over 3 inches long, about 3 1/4 inches long. It's about 2 inches wide, and it's just a little over 1/2 inch deep. So it's pretty small. I mean, it's not tiny. It's not something that you're going to want to run with or anything. It's more for if you're sitting there and you really want to enjoy your music, you want to get the most out of your headphones. And here I'm showing you next to my iPhone 3GS. You can see the size comparison. I mean, it's just slightly smaller than my iPhone is. But again, it's not really meant for running around with if you're sitting there, or if you're just walking around and you want to listen to some good music. Fantastic amplifier. So here we have the Fiio L9, which, as you can see, is basically a dock adapter for the bottom of an iPod or an iPhone that comes out at a 90-degree angle to the right. And you'll notice that the 3.5mm jack also has a 90-degree angle on it. So both of these are set up to come into these things at sharp angles. A couple of notes about the L9. One thing to be aware of is that the dock adapter on it is actually fairly thick. So if you have an OtterBox or some sort of rigid type design case for your iPhone or your iPod, you might not be able to use this, so that would be one reason to consider maybe getting the L1, which the L1's a quality product, which I'll show you here in just a second, but that is something to be aware of. Okay, so here I'm going to plug the L9 into the bottom of my 3GS. And it makes it a little bit nice because it does just come out at a very shallow, low profile angle. Now with the E11, I'm not crazy about it, and I'll show you why. Once you plug it into the input jack on the bottom of it, it's fine if you're going to leave it laying across each other like that. Now it kind of gets in the way of the dial. It's just long enough to get around it. If you put it up like that, then you're going to see that that cable actually gets in the way of the output, which is where your headphones go. So now that's not going to work very well. So you can flip this thing around to where you put it back behind your iPhone, but then you can't see what your power indicator. And believe me, there's been several times that I've forgotten that I had this thing turned on and I walked away and I ended up having to recharge it. So the L9, it works, and if you have the rubber band, the accessory kit of the Amazon affiliate link that I tell you about in just a minute, that comes with the whole kit of an extra cable and a rubber band, and I believe it actually comes with an extra battery. Nah, maybe not a battery, but you'll see that if you rubber band these things together, then it might be useful. So that's the L9. Here I'm showing you the Fiio L1. As you can see, it has a much smaller dock adapter on it, and it comes straight out the bottom of it, and it goes right into the end of the 3.5mm jack. So they're both straight cord, straight entry, both into your iPod and into the amplifier. So as you can see, plugs right in, and this will fit with the OtterBox, no problem whatsoever. It's a very small adapter, very similar to the cord that came with your iPhone. And then now, if you plug this into the input, you'll see that it doesn't get in the way of it because it's coming straight out the bottom. It adds some length to the bottom of your iPhone and your amplifier, but there's nothing getting in the way of your headphone cord. So you can arrange this thing however you want. And again, using the rubber band, if you buy through the Amazon affiliate link that I'll have at the end of this video or at the bottom of this video, you will see that it comes with a rubber band to where you can keep these things together. So that's really nice. And again, it's very unobtrusive. It stays out of the way. So personally, I like the L1 a little bit better than the L9. Build quality is pretty spectacular, built solidly. As far as design, there's only really one thing that I don't like about it. I wish that there's two things actually. I wish that they had put the input and the output on different sides so that you didn't have to worry about cables getting in the way of each other depending on how you set this thing up. That's kind of annoying. The other thing is, and this will annoy some people, is you cannot listen to it while you're charging it. You'll notice on some headphones, if you turn your iPhone or your iPod or your personal media player up as loud as it'll go, you'll notice that you'll get a blaring or a clipping sound in your headphones. And a lot of times that's your amplifier in your headphones just can't handle pushing that much juice. If you plug that up to the Fiio E11 and you turn it up, you'll be able to go louder and clearer. My Hippo VBs are a perfect example of that. I can turn those on through this amplifier and I get extreme clarity all the way up to levels that nobody should listen to. You'll see two items on there typically. One is just the Fiio E11 by itself and it's $65 or $64 and some change. There's another one that I think another company is selling up there that actually includes a rubber band and a couple of 3.5-inch adapters like I think male to males so that you can hook in the amp to your iPhone or whatever. And that entire kit is only like a few cents more. So if you do go up there, make sure you get the kit instead of the amplifier by itself. It'll save you some bucks and it'll also get you everything you need. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have any questions or comments, please visit headphonereviewhq.com. Go down, post a comment. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have and look forward to hearing from you. And again, if you've enjoyed this review, please go below and use my affiliate link to buy on there. I get a buck or two if you do that, and just nice for being able to go out and buy these products and help you guys out finding what you want. So this has been Alan with headphonereviewhq.com, and I'll see you next time.